Okay, video 3. Anyway, this rheumatologist I saw in Nashua, um, he was so cool. So, anyway, the point I was trying to get to was he told me that, yeah, you do have fibromyalgia, more mild than he was used to seeing, but it was there, and he could tell there was definitely something going on. It was just obvious. Um, he said that, well, since you're seeing a naturopath anyway, and at that point in time, I hadn't seen the naturopath. I was actually going to see him the very next day for the first time. This rheumatologist said, just do what your naturopath says because people with fibromyalgia tend to have much better luck healing under naturopathy than going the conventional route. So this guy was awesome, and he told me that if I need additional care, come back. He actually ordered some MRIs for me because during that time in my life, I was going through Descours tendinocinitis. I couldn't move my thumbs for like 4 weeks at a time each. I was in braces, they atrophied. I was getting constant, frequent ganglion cysts. I had arthritis in my wrists. I was going through occupational therapy. Oh, that was so torturous. And I was still trying to hold down my secretarial job at that point in time. Yeah, that was a complete disaster. I should have quit sooner. I just made a fool of myself. But so he ordered MRIs for my hands. He really wanted to help, and he said, "Please come back if I can do more for you." And I never have because my naturopath has been that helpful. He was able to get my inflammation under control quickly enough that all of my wrist problems basically got under control enough where I didn't feel the need to keep pursuing help for that. And I just learned not to overwork them. Once I start to feel the inflammation or the tenderness coming back in those tendons, I just stop, and I don't do that activity again for a couple of days. So I'm managing it, but I appreciate what he did for me, and I'm thinking if I could go see this neurologist in Dover, go see this rheumatologist to reconfirm the fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, and then see my doctor after all that. If I feel like my these other two doctors are done with testing and they've been able to do enough with me to help me with my disability cases, and I don't need to go get further doctoring done, then I could go see my doctor, and this would be amazing. I could go get treatments done, and help improve how awful I'm already feeling from being off my supplements, and try to get back on track. Um, Especially since that would mean flying, and let me be frank, the only reason I actually survive flying is the glutathione and N-acetyl-L-cysteine that my doctor has me on. And if I can't take that, it actually freaks me out. If I feel like I'm gonna die, I'm gonna take my supplements. I'm not gonna do that to myself just for the sake of getting some labs done. But if I can manage the flights in the hotel room, go see these doctors without taking anything to recover from my symptoms with, then I'm really gonna want the treatments to help. And the other great thing would be I've been with my naturopath for almost 4 years now. November will be 4 years, I think. How cool would it be for him to actually get to reevaluate me without the influence of my supplements and treatments for about 2 months? Possibly sooner than 2 months. It depends on how quickly I can get in, obviously. That could be very helpful for him. Could be very helpful for me too. I like this plan, but I haven't called these doctors. I don't know if I can get in within 2 months. My parents are very generously, oh my goodness, whatever the word is, you know what I'm trying to say. They're helping me pay for this, and it is going to come down to cost to some level. They're saying it's not, but I know it really, I need to be careful with finances. Um, there's factors I haven't worked out. So I kind of got this like dream plan where I'm thinking, okay, let's do this. This is the answer. But hey, what if I get to New Hampshire and I find out it's not quite working according to plan? Maybe I see this neurologist and he's really uncomfortable with the disability issue. What if the rheumatologist says, you know what? You actually improved, and I don't think I can reaffirm the fibromyalgia diagnosis. Um, am I worried about that? Yeah, a little bit, because I occasionally do get those flares from fibromyalgia. I'm actually not convinced it is true fibromyalgia, but I get the symptoms that qualify. Those tender points, they flare. I have talked to people with fibromyalgia, and I can relate well enough to feel like, okay, you know what, I probably am getting flares of it. The difference is this diet and all these pills I'm on with my naturopath are actually giving me a level of control. There was about a year, maybe longer, of time when I thought I had recovered. I thought, you know, it's been long enough. I'm not getting those flares back. I'm over the fibromyalgia. But more recently, I've been working again. I'm exerting more. I'm trying to push my limits, and I'm getting flares back. So I think I probably am going to go back into flaring symptoms, and this rheumatologist is going to work with me on that. But let's say he doesn't. What do I do? At that point, I don't know. Guys, I'm gonna finish this some other time. I might write about it. My husband's calling me and I'm getting really hungry, so bear with me. Thank you for listening. I'll get back to you. Take care.